Okay, good afternoon again, everyone. Back for another Friday live stream with Howard finishing his cup of tea for us there. And,
thank you very much.
And I think Matthew's just done a very similar thing, to be fair. Yeah, end of June, start of July, which is great. And the weather, of course, British summer has turned horrendous again. But that isn't necessarily the case if you've got a house to sell, as we'll I'm sure come to shortly. It's sunny days for that. So yeah, guys, I think we just have a bit of a catch up to see if we can let everyone know how June looked for the housing market, and then also what we think it's going to be like going forward into July. So Howard, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah.
And let us know how you think it's going?
Yeah, of course, Graham. First of all, you touched on the weather there. Can't believe that this time last week, or Thursday last week, it was the hottest we've been for over a year, 34 degrees. And today, and since then, it's been like winter, especially at the weekend. I'm always grateful when at the weekend when it's chucking it down with rain and windy and you can't go out and do anything when you're not working or when you get a day off. But anyway, yeah, June, to sum up June, a massive improvement on May. You know, I'll mention afterwards, later on, a bit of some nationwide figures that we've looked at. But in June, all in all, there's been a lot more activity. The phone calls the phones are ringing with people wanting to go and view properties. Are there enough properties out there? Again, we'll maybe touch on that in a minute. So yeah, I think it's all positive, and I'm sure we'll elaborate as well. But with some of the people out there with the pubs open tomorrow, maybe there's a bit of normality coming back into the world, and yeah, I'd like to think that we're back on track. And even the Prime Minister this morning has actually stated that he thinks that we're over the worst of everything and we're back on track, and for us not to get giddy and so forth, but just to be alert. Is that what he says? Stay alert. So, but yeah, June's been a massive improvement. Yeah, in the Preston anyway.
Good. How about you, Matt? Have you found it in Lancaster and Morecambe?
Tiring, busy. June, 222 sales according to Rightmove. Now that's all in the LA postcodes that we operate. So LA2, LA1, LA4, LA3, and obviously some bits of LA5 as well. So 222 sales were agreed according to Rightmove statistics for June in our local area, and those 270 listings. So the chances are, if you're putting your house on, you've got a damn right good chance of selling your house. If 222 houses sold and only 270 came on the market, that is quite clear that there needs to be more houses coming to the market. Obviously, not saying 270 sold, you know, all those 222 might not have been the new listings. However, that is positive figures. That is a lot. So, you know, record-breaking months for sales, but need more listings. So it's quite clear, you know, if you're putting your house on at the moment, you're going to sell it. You are going to sell it. As Howard's just said, normality's returning bar the weather. It would be my weekend that I get off that it's pouring down rather than it being sunny. But hey-ho, can't pick and choose them, can we?
You do try, though.
I do try. I should swap my Saturdays with Kev, shouldn't I, Lucky Devil?
Yeah.
But all around really positive. I can't express how busy we are. And those figures that Rightmove have just showed, that proves it. That really does. If you look at how, for example, comparison all the LA postcodes added up together, how many times we'd probably fit into somewhere like Manchester or Liverpool, that's so good. We're extremely busy. So yeah, positive vibes, keep going.
Yeah,
I never say positive vibes. I always want to say bobsled time because it always reminds me of cool runnings.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think June has been excellent. I think it's been far better than what people imagine. You know, we were talking at the start of June, of course, that people were almost quite negative. You know, where there's going to be a big crash in prices and all that sort of thing. And you know, we've not seen that at all, have we? Really. I mean, you mentioned some stats there before, Howard, nationally. What were those?
Yeah, I was just saying, it was interesting to see what that Matthew said then. You know, obviously it's been busy, and I know that we'll obviously come back to you in a minute, got figures for the Northwest predominantly, but yeah, research has shown, came out this morning that for the month of June, that there was 5,000 more listings to this time last year. Now, how that equates percentage-wise, that's gone up 4%. Now, Matthew touched on the sales there, which are coming through. So I do still think there's a lack of supply of properties available. The sales for June, this is all nationwide, I must say. So the sales for June compared to this time last year are up 1%. So that's 1%. Bear in mind what we're coming out of. Now, June last year was the busiest month throughout 2019 for sales. So this June has just pipped it, but that's nationwide. And you've got a few figures, haven't you, Kev, for Northwest?
I can bring that a bit more locally.
Yeah, please do.
For you there. So if we look at the LA postcodes, so Lancaster and Morecambe, so that's LA 1, 2, 3, and 4. New instructions, so properties coming to the market, June this year compared to June last year are 21% down.
Right.
There you go.
21% down.
And yet nationwide it's up 4%. So it just shows.
That's up 4%. Now sales, so June 2020 sales compared to June 2019 sales are nearly 10% up.
Right.
So there's a 30% difference. So yeah, 21% down in new instructions, 10% up in sales almost.
Well, that just proves it's the other way around up here then, because I mentioned there that the sales nationwide are up 1%. You're saying they're up 10%, okay? The listings went up 4%, but we were down. Was it 21%? I think you said there.
That's the LA one, so I can help you.
Well, just based on that there, it evidently points to the fact that nationwide, yeah, they are, and obviously it clouds everyone's judgment. But even the Northwest, listen to LA postcodes, what you're saying there. I'm sure it'd be the same with Preston's as well. Well, there's still that lack of supply, Kev.
Yeah, there is, and I can actually in the PR postcode area. Well, certainly the ones that we operate in. So PR 1, 4, and 5. PR 1, 4, and 5. It's actually even more extreme. So the instructions June 20 to June 19 is 30% down.
Wow, massive. Down.
Sales June 20 to June 19 is 13% up.
Right. So it's definitely a lack of supply there.
It's even more exaggerated in the PR area. The demand is massive because, as you rightly said, June last year I think was the busiest month of the year. Yet we've trumped it this June, so the demand is huge, but people just aren't bringing the houses to the market.
Well, to reiterate what Matthew said 5 minutes ago, there, if you're looking to sell in Preston and Lancaster in the Northwest, it sounds bad now. You've got a good opportunity to get it on the market and get it sold.
No better time to do it. And looking at the figures, just unbelievable. The differences there. Whether is that something I would probably think it's to do with the national press. I think even last week, was it Nationwide announced that nationally prices are down 1.4% or something. It's absolute bonkers. In this area, if you're looking at this
crazy.
In one of the LA postcodes, certainly Lancaster ones, obviously there's a lot LA that goes north, but in the PR postcodes, this is an absolute fantastic opportunity for you to get your house on the market and quite possibly earn or get more for it than you could have done, because there's so many people looking.
Yeah, and the lack of supply, and that's what obviously drives prices in anything. And if you've got a specific house and there isn't anything on the street in the area that stand out, you might be able to get. Not obviously we can't 100% confirm, but you should be able to get a bit of a premium of price. So if you've got a couple of buyers out there, why not take advantage of it?
Potentially, it's not going to be the same for we could break it down and narrow those postcodes down, and you'll find there's ups and downs within those postcodes if you get them short. But the overall postcode sectors are looking great. So don't, if you're thinking about it, don't sit on it. I mean, we said it every week. How we see how demand, the demand is out there. If you are thinking of putting your house on the market, don't sit and wait. Get in touch with an agent. Approach an agent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, approach an agent. Get some advice off them. I was just going to say, Kevin, I know over the last 2 weeks we touched on your personal circumstances. Talking from your experience, you're looking to buy a property, and obviously we talk quite regularly, not always on YouTube, and you found it very difficult, didn't you, to find the property you wanted?
Hugely difficult. Yeah. Hugely difficult. There was there's not much around that we were looking for. You know, certainly 3 to 4 beds in the Morecambe area just were in complete short supply. We did actually offer on a property as well over asking price, and we still didn't get it. You know,
that's interesting.
So there's certainly a property out there where they've achieved a very good price on it, but you know, we ended up having to go for something that was not on our radar to start with. You know, we had to certainly widen our search for what we were after.
Yeah, you had to listen to what you had to do a lot of compromise, didn't you, as well, and think outside the box.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, definitely. You know, we got there in the end, but it took, you know, we waited, I think it was about 6 weeks from agreeing our sale to actually agreeing on something we're buying on, you know, because it was just, we had to change what we're looking for and eventually
I just want to touch on that note, actually. It's quite a sensitive subject with some, but obviously just what you've just said there, where people were getting pipped over the asking price. And this is me talking now from going out and doing some valuations. And I don't know if you've seen it as well, Howard. Obviously, speaking to some vendors and you go out and value the house, there's a lot of, because the market is so good at the moment, just sometimes you go out and another agent, you know, always get more than one valuation. That is my recommendation. That's what I'm going to say now, because I've been out to a couple recently where the agent said the market's doing that well, that sometimes they're not. The vendor's been that shocked that agent's coming and said much higher than what they were thinking, and honestly, what we've been thinking. So my advice is, yes, the market's doing well, and as we just said, you might be able to get that a little bit more. But however, if something sounds too good to be true, quite often or not, it's too good to be true. So those who are watching this video, just have a think as well, because if your house is overvalued, it's only going to do one thing, and that's going to sit on the market. You're going to come
like
down.
we say, you know, as you said, Matt, there's not every house that comes to the market sells.
Yeah.
You know, but one of the reasons can be price, you know, for sure. You know, so you're right. Get more than one agent. You know, we always recommend 3, don't you? I think 3's what you get three values.
The idea for doing that, Kevin, is primarily it's to make sure you know the price is near to damn it, and ideally all estate agents should come in thereabouts. So then obviously you choose your estate agent that you feel will do the best job for you. But I think I would like to think, well, I know for a fact, I would probably say high 80%, probably higher than that. You're selling your house, you've got a rough idea what your house sells for. So if you think your house is worth £180,000 and the estate agent comes around and says, well, you know, you could probably put on the market at 260, 270. You know, you've got to think about that. Like Matthew said, are you really going to get £90,000 more? So do your own research. And if an estate agent gives you a higher figure, or in fact a lower figure than what you realistically think, maybe ask them to justify on why they were thinking that way. Because like you say, Matthew, I've had quite a few as well, where you've gone out to ones and they've been valued, shall we say, by another estate agent. And it's not like 10. You could say 10, 15, even 20 grand. It could be that much of a difference. But when you're getting 50, 60, 70 grand's worth of difference, it's
And I've found that a bit at the moment, not massively, because of course us as an agent, we, you know, without saying we're the greatest or whatever, we bring out the comparables to prove it. Well, we don't. We show the evidence. We show what the market suggests. We don't kind of just go put our finger in the air and go 50 grand more than what everyone else is thinking. We look at the evidence and say, well, hang on, this is what the market suggests. What have the other agents said? Oh, well, I have 3 other agents who were all at 200,000, the same as you, but this one agent said 240. I think I could get that now. Well, sounds like the other agents know what they're doing.
Totally agree.
I think you're right. The biggest thing for anyone should be the evidence to suggest the price that we're talking about. You know, so it should be provable, shouldn't it? You're right. If somebody says a certain figure, high or low, you know, ask them for the evidence. You know, ask them, you know, why do you think that price? You know, what have you got to support that price? And a competent agent should be able to show you why they think it is.
Justify it.
You know, there are occasions, and I will say there's the caveat to the data that I said before was this was on a grand scale of a big postcode area. You know, the micro postcodes, you know, I've said LA, but you could have LA11, LA45, and it might completely different in those areas. But but you know, we're just talking generically as a grander scale there. But it is very positive, you know, really, really positive, and you know, we're thoroughly positive about it. You know, we're really enjoying how good it's going for people.
I'm guessing those other figures, you know, the nationwide figures, I think that they probably are coming from, let's face it, down south, I should imagine. And like all things, I think there's normally a trend, and if that trend continues, it should move from down south to up to the north. You know, I'm like I'm on the weather now, aren't I? If you go, I'm like on the weather. You know, so it should do that. Come from down south to up north. So hopefully that'll see fit, and the buyers out there, there'll be more for you to choose from.
Yeah.
But yeah, get your ass on the market.
So what do we think about July then? Do we think the evidence it's gonna keep going? Do we see a political slump in anything? I don't know what your diary's like.
I think so. I mean, we could always be to be busier. Could always be to be busier without a shadow of a doubt. And we're always going to be busiest when we came out of this lockdown. I think everyone predicted that, and everyone was fully expecting it. People out there who said, and me and Matthew spoke to people, said, "Oh, you're always going to get that bit of a spike, and then you're going to have a downturn." Evidence that we've looked at today, and evidence that we speak about on a daily basis, us guys, doesn't back that fact up. I think it does back up that, we're back on track, and as long as Britain and the world keeps on going with this positive mental attitude and looking after each other, I think it will continue. That's my personal point of view. What's your thoughts, Matt? Something similar?
I already in July. I mean, I'm stacked out this week. I am next week. You know, roughly going off what we've got on valuations, I think we've got about 6 or 7 photography shoots already booked in for next week, roughly. Obviously, depending on a couple of vendors getting back to us on dates and times, whether they want the week after. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, all we can ask for is more listings, which we're getting. But, you know, sales-wise as well, I know the guys in the office, after speaking to them this afternoon, they're busy as well. I don't think it's going to quieten off, because that pent-up demand is still there, and not everyone's going to find their ideal house in 1 month, because you do get people who will sit there and wait until that one comes up. You know, and as more lockdown issues, get resolved and eased, as we've just said at the start about the pub and things, I think more people will start coming to the market. More people will start seeing a change, and you know, you might get some people who are still furloughed, who don't want to sell just yet until they've got the certainty. And with more lockdown stuff being eased, that'll happen. You know, obviously they've just released that 50 holiday destinations that you can go to on a traffic light system. You know, those people who were in the commercial industry of holidays and things, obviously going back to work, you might get an influx of them wanting to sell again. Whereas they might not, but, you know, it's all unexpected, but I think it's going to stay busy. And I think we've just got to stay positive. I mean, without going off on a mad one here, I posted some stuff on LinkedIn yesterday because I got these news alerts through to my phone, and touching on what you said earlier, Kev, I got a news alert saying prices have dropped since the worst since 2012 recession. And I just thought, not around here, they haven't. You know, we are still staying busy. And I think it's going to stay like that. And us as agents have got a duty and a job to do to keep it going.
That's the problem with the national news, isn't it? You know, it takes the country as a whole rather than individual areas. You know,
well, they need to sell stories, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, they do. They do. You know, but we can use data to give a positive story. You know, we're not making it up. We've actually got the stuff here to say that you know, that's what Rightmove says. That's what the data is. That's what it's picked up, and we know that there's demand out there from buyers. People just need to have confidence to put their house on the market, and it'll sell. Sure about
that? Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, the North's great. It's where we all live. The North's fantastic up north. We've got so much going for us up here. And as you just said, the national press always take in the South. They always take London into the demographic. As soon as there's ever a recession, everybody just focuses going, it's London. Most of the time, you know, it's usually down south. But looking at LinkedIn again and seeing other positive stuff down there from the agent connections we've got, they're all posting similar stuff. They're busy. You know, you're obviously probably going to get higher priced properties which will struggle. Let's face it. I don't think anyone's going to come round Lancaster and Morecambe at the moment and spend over a couple million. You know, but family houses at the moment, 4 or 5 bed. Can't get enough of them. Manic.
No, good. Well, it's been great to hear the positivity, guys. And long may it continue. And, I think we definitely think it will be. So, if anyone out there, again, speak to an agent, speak to us. We're more than happy to come and see you and go through all of this data to show how positive it is. And tell you what we can do to sell your house. So, Howard, Matt, thank you very much. We'll see you guys again next Friday, and we'll see how it's gone next week. All right.
Have a lovely wet weekend.
Have a
good weekend,
everyone. See you later, guys.
All the best. Cheers, guys. Ta-da now.